Greetings and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be covering the 1976 supernatural horror film Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma and starring Sissy Spacek. Let's begin. Shy 16-year-old Carrie White, who lives with her fanatically religious and unstable mother Margaret, is unpopular at school and often bullied by her peers. When Carrie experiences her menarche in the school shower, she panics, having never been told about menstruation. Carrie's classmates throw tampons and sanitary pads at her while chanting "plug it up," until the gym lead teacher, Miss Collins, intervenes. Following conversations with Miss Collins and the principal, Carrie is dismissed from school for the day. After arriving home, Margaret tells Carrie that her menstruation was caused by sin, and she locks Carrie in an altar-like prayer closet to pray for forgiveness. At school, Collins reprimands Carrie's tormentors, punishing them with a week-long detention during gym class. She threatens that those who skip the punitive measure will be suspended for 3 days and barred from the upcoming prom. However, Carrie's longtime bully, Chris Hagenson, walks out and gets excluded from the prom. Plotting vengeance against Carrie, Chris and her boyfriend Billy Nolan break into a farm and kill pigs to drain their blood into a bucket, which they place above the school stage in the gymnasium. Norma, Chris's best friend and a prominent figure in the school's student council regime, plans to rig the prom queen election in Carrie's favor to get her on the stage. Meanwhile, Sue Snell, a deeply remorseful classmate, asks her handsome and popular boyfriend Tommy Ross to invite Carrie to the prom. Carrie believes the proposition is a prank, but he insists that it is genuine, and she reluctantly accepts after Miss Collins consoles her. At home, she begins to discover that she has telekinesis as she shakes off her shyness. Despite Margaret's protests, Carrie puts on a flattering dress and hairstyle for the prom. Margaret sees Carrie's telekinetic powers and denounces her as a witch before Carrie leaves with Tommy. During the prom, Chris and Billy hide under the stage while the other conspirators switch the ballots to ensure that Carrie wins the prom queen title. As Carrie stands on stage with Tommy, finally beginning to feel accepted by her peers, Sue realizes Chris and Billy's plan and begins to intervene. Miss Collins spots Sue, thinking that she is up to no good, throws her out of the prom. Chris and Billy pull the rope attached to the bucket of pig blood, dousing Carrie. They then sneak out of the school. The empty bucket hits the outraged Tommy on the head, and he collapses. The crowd is left shocked and speechless at the prank. But Carrie hallucinates that everyone, even Miss Collins, is mocking her, and in a sudden outburst, telekinetically seals the exits, controls a fire hose which injures several partygoers attempting to escape, and sprays the overhead lights. Miss Collins is crushed by a falling basketball backboard, and Carrie's principal and teacher are electrocuted, setting the gym on fire. Carrie exits the gym and seals the doors behind her, trapping staff and classmates. As Carrie walks home, Chris and Billy attempt to run her over with Billy's car, but Carrie causes the car to overturn and explode, killing them. After Carrie bathes herself at home, Margaret reveals that Carrie was conceived when her husband was drunk, an act Margaret shamefully admits she enjoyed. She comforts Carrie and then stabs her in the back with a kitchen knife and begins chasing her through the house. Carrie levitates several sharp implements and sends them flying towards Margaret, crucifying her. She then destroys the house and perishes. Sometime later, Sue, the only survivor of the prom, has a nightmare in which she goes to lay flowers on the charred remains of Carrie's home, upon which stands a for sale sign vandalized in black paint with the words, "Carrie White burns in hell." Suddenly, Carrie's bloody arm reaches from beneath the rubble and grabs Sue's forearm. She wakes up screaming and writhing in terror as her mother tries to comfort her. If you enjoyed this film, please let me know what other films you'd like to see me do in the comments below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.